Are you shopping around for an environmental consultant and noticing that the prices for services are all over the place? Maybe you thought, why would I pay more when someone else says they can do the same thing for half the cost? That's a fair question, and honestly, we get it. Every dollar matters when you're running a business. But here's the hard truth we've learned over decades in this industry. Cheap doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get what you really need. In the world of environmental compliance, cutting corners can end up costing you more than you saved. We've seen businesses hit with big fines for things they thought were already taken care of. A lack of basic compliance requirement like a permit or a plan, or an incomplete permit application. A missed reporting deadline. A vague or recycled compliance plan. Sometimes the mistake isn't caught until an inspector shows up, and by then, it's too late. Unfortunately, it's all too common. We've had clients come to us after getting blindsided by violations because their last consultant handed them a one-size-fits-all fix, or something that the consultant downloaded from the internet. Some firms literally swap out the company name and reuse the same template across the board. No site-specific information or company customization, no thought, and no real protection for you. It might look like you've got your compliance level covered, but it's a house of cards. And the moment a regulator takes a closer look, everything falls apart. And here's the kicker. It's not the consultant who gets in trouble or gets the fine, it's you. Your business, your name on the line. You're the one trying to explain what went wrong while operations grind to a halt. So let's talk about what actually goes behind those lowball prices. Well, here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. These firms often operate solely on volume. They need to crank out as many jobs as possible as quickly as they can just to stay profitable. That means you're getting rushed work, templated language, and junior staff, sometimes even interns, handling critical compliance items. We've seen consultants promise turnarounds for complicated items in 48 hours. But what they're really doing is recycling content, skipping over important site-specific details, and hoping no one really notices. Speed over substance. That's the model, and it shows. One of the first corners they cut? Expertise. Sure, maybe they've done a certain type of permit once, but for a facility that's nothing like your business. But they'll take you on anyhow, charge you less upfront just to get you in the door, then do a poor job while they learn about you and your type of business, and in a general way and try and bluff their way through the entire process. Sure, we can do anything, but can they really? Do you want a guy who installs car windshields for a living, figuring they can suddenly start doing work on your brakes or your transmission? Not me, and neither should you. Another thing overlooked or done very quickly and poorly are site visits, where a good consultant really determines your needs, what the concerns are, and then knows what the solutions are that'll fit your particular needs. But to keep costs low and turn jobs around fast, some consultants actually skip visiting your facility entirely. Instead, they might rely on old aerial photographs or Google Maps and try to piece together a picture of your facility from behind a desk. But you can't really understand how a site operates without walking it. You miss the nuances, the potential risks, and things that make your facility and operation unique. Sure, there are exceptions like our remote SPCC plan development service, but even then we're crystal clear about what we need and when a site visit is non-negotiable. If we're going the remote route, we're going to ask for detailed information and lots of photos and even videos of your site. If your consultant casually mentions that they'll handle it without a site visit, or worse, if it's not even brought up, that's probably a very serious red flag. Worse yet, they're usually not around when problems could pop up. You get your plan in the mail or an email that your application was submitted, maybe a short handoff call, and that's it. No support, no training, no help if someone like a regulator shows up. Just another document sitting in a drawer or on a shelf waiting to fail you. Now, contrast that with what the right environmental consultant does. A real environmental professional will have the expertise and background to ask the right questions up front, visit your site when needed, customize your needs based on your unique operation, and stay available when things change or when you need help. A good consultant will also build a compliance program, not just paperwork that sits on a shelf. One that holds up to scrutiny and actually helps your team stay on track. One that builds systems into your operation so you're not scrambling every time there's a deadline or an inspection. And if you've got questions down the line, they should actually pick up the phone without nickel and diming you. So how do you know who to trust before you sign on? One of the first clues ought to almost literally be the look on the face of your potential consultant or the words they use. If you're asking for something you found out that you need and your inquiries are met with a deer in the headlights type response, then you can be pretty sure that they don't know what they're doing, aren't familiar with requirements or how it applies to you, can't price it out correctly or appropriately, and are probably going to learn on your dime. Sure, it might be cheaper at the outset, but for me, I'd rather not let a surgeon learn how to do heart surgery on me, even if it's cheaper. You should also ask questions. Have they done this type of work before? And have they done it at businesses and operations like yours? What's included in the price? Who's actually doing the work? Will they visit your site? How do they collect data? Do you understand your industry? Do they understand your industry and your specific state regulations? And maybe most importantly, what happens after the job is finished? Because you're not just buying a quick fix, at least you shouldn't be. You're investing in peace of mind, in knowing that when a regulator comes knocking, you're covered, and that you've got someone to call who knows your site and can help you respond fast. At RMA, we've seen the messes that cheap consultants leave behind, and we've built an entire approach to be the opposite: clear, reliable, and rooted in real-world experience. We don't learn on the job, and we don't drop off a one-size-fits-all deliverable and just disappear. We partner with our clients for the long haul, helping them stay compliant, respond to issues, and avoid costly surprises. We explain what's included, why it matters, and how we'll help support you not just today, but throughout your entire compliance journey. It's really the difference between buying a treadmill and hiring a personal trainer. One gives you a tool and says, "Good luck." The other shows up, knows you and your goals, keeps you accountable, and makes sure you don't throw out your back on day one. So if you're looking for a consultant who won't leave you hanging, reach out to us. Let's do it right the first time, so you don't have to pay twice later on.